Good morning, loving Lucinda. Hey, Elaine. How are you? Good Tuesday morning, y'all. Good Tuesday morning. How are you guys doing? How you guys doing this morning? I know it's whew, what a day, y'all. Out there is hot. It is scorching already. I hope everybody's had a great night. I hope this morning has found you and yours well. Lovely Lucinda, man, you set it off with them blueberry and lemon. I think those are blueberry scones. Man, I love some good scones, but yeah, I'm like, no, now I'm gonna have to go out and find some scones. But how are you doing this morning? How are you? Yeah, I hadn't had a scone in a minute. I'm gonna try some. I like them. Nice with a nice cup of coffee, man. When I saw those scones, I hadn't even had some coffee yet this morning. But when I saw them scones, I'm thinking scones and coffee, scones and coffee. Yeah, trying to think. Oh yeah, Starbucks has them. I don't think there are any in the deli where near me. Starbucks has them, but I don't think I've seen them in the delis that are near me. They have a. I'm slow moving this morning, chilling. There you go. There you go. Just chill. Yeah, I got some things I gotta get taken care of this afternoon. I don't even want to go outside and take care of it. I'll wait till the dang on sun go down. I don't care. I'll wait till the sun go down. It's still gonna be hot, man, but I don't want to walk in that heat. I'm just resisting as much as possible. Yeah, guys. So came in a little late this morning. I didn't go to bed until about almost 4 o'clock this morning. Um, So, and I when I got up, it was like 4 hours later. So basically, yeah, yep. So yeah, just it's horrible outside. Yes, it is. It is Hades out there. It is hot as Hades. I mean, I don't remember being a child here or being even a young adult here or an adult here. Remember such a long heat like this. I mean, like heat. It's like normal heat wave. Like it's like I guess over time, being away from here, other people may have gotten used to this, but I don't remember being 5 days straight of over 100-degree weather. Sometimes it would be like, oh, this is an emergency situation. You had the weatherman come on, and we're gonna expect feel like temperatures over 100 today. It's normal now. It's like they don't make no emergency declarations and stuff like that like they used to. You don't hear none of that like you used to. Uh, you get heat advisories, but you don't hear that like this is the day. Everybody stay. No, it's like normal. It's like feel like temperature 103, 105 every day of the week. So I'm like, man, I don't want. Mm-mm. God willing, I will not be here next summer. So I will not be here next summer. If it's being God's plan, that's where I don't want to be here. So yeah, thank you guys. Hit that like button. If you've been, my number has been sitting at 10 for the last minute or so. So if you haven't hit the like button and you're listening in, feel free to tap that screen if you're able to. Tap the little dots up front, up in the right hand corner. Pull up the hamburger helper hand, or hit that like button right next to the left under. Well, however you're watching it, however, feel free to hit that like button. You've been here a minute, so something is keeping you here. Maybe it's my voice. Maybe you're just like, who's talking in the dark? Who is Justice Reacts? And why am I listening to her? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's my voice. But go ahead, hit that like button. Don't hold out. Don't hold out. And remember, this channel is supported by YouTube. I guess play ways to assist the channel growth, And encouragement is through super stickers, super chat, and gifts. If you feel free, if that's what you want to do, please feel free to contribute to the channel. I appreciate your support. Um, what else is going on? Not a lot going on, y'all. Um, Nolan Wells case. The question. I watched a little bit of the funeral. I couldn't watch his mom. Once I got to the part where his mom started, it was just like, man. So I watched a little bit of his funeral yesterday. It was so sad. Such a tragedy for mom and father to have to lay their son to rest. And then you had Al Sharpton there, and he made I think it's I read now 100, but I saw him say 50,000. Whatever is needed, whatever is used, not a problem. Even if it wasn't 50,000, whatever could have been contributed to help bring light to this case. Um, Anything would help. So you got Colin Kaepernick, Tyler Perry, and Al Sharpton all contributing their services to the family and financial assistance or whatever assistance they can give. One of the questions that came up, and right now they're getting to it, is checking everybody else's phones. And like I said in earlier lives, I was surprised that that wasn't done. Then I started to think, how we talk about the differences and how law enforcement approach a case. Again, this is why it has led some people to believe, not based on the kid's relationship, but based on the zealousness and part of law enforcement sometimes when how they handle cases. If you guys can remember, let me give you an example. Amber Alerts. Y'all know there was a big thing about Amber Alerts, and they had to make the changes. Do anybody remember what was going on with Amber Alerts? Anybody remember the story about Amber Alerts and uh, how it was being used and how it wasn't being and how the reports were being taken? If you remember anything about Amber Alerts a few years ago, maybe more than it could be more than 15 years now. I'm giving 15. It could have been less or more. Does anybody remember anything about the concern about Amber Alert and how? So this is why. So let me give you an example. Why some people feel that there's a difference on how sometimes law enforcement, approach uh, certain cases, certain situations, right? And some people perceive it to be a racial situation, in which historically in matter it could have, and still present today we do see situations that can be looked at as not fair, handled unfairly, even to the judicial system. It's always been a problem within the judicial system. Sentencing guidelines in the judicial system has always been a problem when concerned to race, as well as the Amber Alert. Hey, Tipsworth, how are you? Well, the Amber Alert for you. Thank you, Tips, for the sparkle. The Amber Alert system was used to um, put out alert when kids were missing. Right now, what was being how the changes came is when they were realizing that the Amber Alert wasn't being used effectively for brown and black children. Right, wasn't being used fairly. Information wasn't being taken. The report wasn't being taken like they would be taken for counterparts, right? So, for example, police officers show up to the house. They take a report. The urgency for a missing child, either of lower income or maybe based on race, wasn't put out in an urgency. Other things were said, go check, wait. And we know in many cases, they will tell you to wait 24 hours for an adult, right? But now, if that adult, if that adult has some type of mental, what is it called, mental deficiencies, mental illness, I don't want to say that, or physical, like maybe something else going on, and they're not able to protect themselves, they're now going under Amber Alert. But in many cases, the reports were not made to look urgent, right? So you had kids that were being taken or missing that wasn't put under Amber Alert, right? Which is that emergency system that's supposed to uh, put everybody on alert. So for many years, complaints were there were people not being treated disenfranchised with the Amber Alert, right? The reports weren't being made urgent. Parents had to wait for so many hours, or maybe this is happening, maybe that's happening. So they had to make changes to the Amber Alert because it wasn't. So this is why some people look at our justice system and our law enforcement with certain reasons, for historical data, right? Racism and intentional or maybe not, whatever micro aggression they may have been at the time. We didn't use the term microaggression, but yeah. Uh, so so now and looking at the case with not Colin Nolan, and then looking at the um, Mari, what's his name? Kamaro Anthony case. Now, my main thing was the phone, but y'all remember in the Kamalo Anthony case, those phones were checked. Those phones were looked at, even though they weren't given, um, you know, even though those phones were not, uh, they just looked at it. At least they took it a look at the phones, right? Even though they may have not gone to the full extent, we know that they checked the phones. We know that they had several phones that were checked, possible things taken off and removed, right? But in many cases, the police did look at the phone. They're hoping, I'm listening to uh, Ben Crump. They're concerned why the phones were not taken and checked from all parties that were involved. And that was my thing in the beginning. Why weren't these phones asked to be? You can voluntarily bring the phones in. Let us check them, or you could ask them right on the scene. But nobody did that. So that's why a lot of things, like you look at Kamalo Anthony's case, where the phones were checked, and in this particular case, no. As far as I know, the phones were not checked in a timely manner. You can check them now. You got to get a search warrant, and hopefully the phones are what they're supposed to be. You know, uh, so yeah. Hey, Carla, how are you doing? So that's why I'm looking at comparing the case between Kamalo Anthony and Nolan Wells, and the approach was much different, right? That's another thing that, uh, even though we had Kamala right on the scene and everything was still right there, still the zealousness and everything was taken into his case was the same approach done for Nolan. And most people look at it the same way as, well, people would have been brought in and detained or questioned, at least brought in a timely manner before everybody was able to get their story together, or just in knock knock investigation, right? Let's talk, not accusing you of anything, not, this is just wanting some talk to you guys a little bit further, just so we can have some clarity, because even with 24 hours, somebody should have been just talking to somebody in those 48 hours of him missing. You would think law enforcement, instead of just declaring it as a drowning, um, would have just talked to some people. Yeah, so just looking at the Nolan Wells case a little bit more. Um, anyway, yeah, guys, how are you guys doing this morning? Welcome in this Gamma's world. Hey, Carl, I know some people came in while I was talking. Chris Ashley, how you doing? Carla, how are you? It's Gamma's world. How are you? Good morning to everybody that's coming in. Hit that like button, y'all. Um, but as well, not a lot going on. The Ramika case again is still back in the news again because if everybody know that the young lady was that was accused that is accused of allegedly shooting Ramika, cold blood first degree murder, has been released on home monitoring system. Hey, Anel, is that somebody say Anel? Anel, is Anel here? Anel Furman? Hey, Anel, how are you? Nice to see you. Um, so I even know your last name before I even look up. This said Anel. So yeah, so a lot of people are wondering why she's allowed to come out with those charges. Like I said yesterday, they don't see her as a threat to society, which led me to believe how the prosecutors may be looking at this case. They may be, even though they got those charges right now, um, a first degree murder, which that means she will possibly, if found guilty, will possibly spend the remaining of her life in prison, uh, with no parole at all. So if she is found guilty, she's gone for the rest of her life, natural life possible. First degree murder, felony charge with five more felony charges behind it. Um, yeah. So who's that? Yeah. So good morning to everybody. Oh man, I'm just sitting here, y'all. I'm not sure if you guys are able to let me know what you guys think about the music, even though it's AI generated. But it's my thoughts, my words, um, and with the assistance of AI. A lot of it is just things I've talked about. I told you before. What do you guys think about the music? I hadn't gotten any. I got some feedback, but I'm looking at, on the comment section. I'm just asking you guys if you're able to have listened to it. The guys that are here today, what do you guys think? Have y'all listened into some of the sounds I put out there, and what do you think? Gamma says sounds good. Well, thank you, Gamma. Thank you. Yeah, I really like the one with Blue Eyed Kobe. I'm telling you, when you have to really sit there, and I worked on Built for this it took me doggone near Built for this, which is my anthem for Justice Reacts. Um, it took me like 3 days to put that together. I love the Kobe sound. I have to hear the others. Okay, caller. So much going on with our people, says caller. A lot going on. A lot going on. Oh, now I said, Chris, you said you love the Kobe sound. I have to hear the others. Well, go ahead and listen in. Happy Tuesday, Coffee No Cream. How are you? There's a lot going on with our people out here. Um, there's a lot of stories going on. Um, I just saw one recently with the mother um, being sentenced to 3 years. Her attorney wanted her to get released on probation, but the judge found that she deserved to spend 3 years in prison because her son, 6-year-old son, access to her weapon and unalived himself, shot himself in the head. And what happened? What made the story so um, hard for? What made the judge feel that she needed to do 3 years, even though her son? It was an accidental situation. The story behind the situation was compelling. That the weapon that was used was the weapon she illegally got for her brother, who was a felon, and it was a straw purchase, meaning that it wasn't bought legally. So they went back and looked at her phone to find a conversation between her and her brother, right? So the conversation between her and her brother was her getting him a weapon, her getting him him getting um, ammo for her weapon. So they had a lot of phone conversations that indicate that she played a part. If she had not gotten the weapon for a felon, which was her brother who lived with her, I believe, at the time, if she had not went and got the weapon and for a known felon that had just got out of jail, um, I think a month before the incident, maybe the possibility that this tragic incident would have taken place because of the legalities of her choices. That's where the punishment is coming from. I think she should have received more time since coffee no cream. I thought, yeah, I'm thinking 3 years. I mean, yeah, I think any that time, even though it should have been more time, um, I think 3 years is if that's what she's gonna get, she should do some time. Even the judge was compassionate enough to say, yes, you're going to get some mental health. Um, you're going to get some. I'm going to also order mental health treatment because not because you need it, but there's a possibility that this is an incident that took place. So we want to even cover. There we want to make sure that you get help, and that was a good thing as well, right? Because um, you know, it's still, and the judge was compassionate enough even to acknowledge, of course, you're dealing with the worst thing possible. Your mother that lost your child, and then your mother that lost your child at the decisions that you made, right? Um, you know, the wheels started happening when you made the choice to go and purchase a weapon for your brother and brought it into the home, and he was careless with it, and he should have never had it. And if all these things was put into play by you, that's nothing. She knows better, says Coffee. Yeah, she knew better, and that's why the judge gave her 3 years in prison, not probation. The attorney was trying to get her probation, and the judge said, no, you're going to do 3 years. As far as I know, I think it's 3 years, as I can remember. So you guys tend to think she should have gotten more. Yeah, I mean, based on the situation, you made these decisions, and sometimes people need to be made an example of. You going out here purchasing illegal weapons for a felon, so you chose to go out here and put yourself at risk again. You could have been taken out of your son's life for a long time as well. You went, if that didn't happen and they found out that you're purchasing weapons for a felon, again, you put yourself at risk where you could have lost your son even if he didn't do this, even if this act didn't happen, this sad tragic, you still would have had a tragic situation. um Yes, the trial. It was 3 years only. Yeah, I watched the trial. It was 3 years. Yeah, so she got the 3 years. It was a tragic situation. If you have gotten arrested and spent time in jail, you still would have been out of your son's life. So you made decisions that could have impacted your son's life anyway, right? Unfortunately, the worst way got impacted, but your decisions eventually would have cost you to lose your son anyway, because you got this felon in your home, and yes, he's your brother, but you're going out there doing things with him. He's not, a felon can't even be around a bullet. Do y'all know that? If they find bullets around a felon, they can't be around ammo as well. Hey, Iconic, how are you? You can't even be around. Poor lady, says Coffee no cream. Poor baby, I see now. Y'all got Got my eyeglasses on. Poor baby. Yeah, you can't. You know, felons can't. Convicted felons of certain crimes cannot be around. Not only the hardware, but the ammo as well. They can't be around ammo as well. Good morning, Iconic says coffee no cream. So the baby just sad situation. They did the grandmother came home and found the baby. That's another sad situation. The baby was 3 days from being seven. He was in 3 days of his seventh birthday, and the grandmother walked in the house and found the baby with the gunshot wound to his head. Called EMS. EMS attempted life saving measures, but it did not work. So it's a sad situation all over. Um, this mother will have to live with her 3 years. She's gonna be sentenced in her head as well. Imagine the life sentence she has. You know, because she's gonna, even with manslaughter, being sentenced to prison. Imagine the prison in her mind, right? Imagine the prison in her mind for the rest of her life. So she is going to be in her own hell for the rest of her life, right? Imagine the hell that she's going to live in. 3 years in prison is not the hell that she's living. And and to lose her baby to such tragedy, that's a prison in itself. Um, Been and out greetings. Everyone says loving Lucinda. Everybody's greeting everybody. So yeah, imagine the sentence that she will, be in her own head for the rest of her life. Because that's something her only baby, I believe, her only child, and living with the fact that your choices. And I've seen people do it, y'all. I've seen people personally sentence themselves to hell because of decisions they made uh, that caused them a tragedy. I told you guys about the guy when I was patrolling. I would find this guy, y'all. He was rich. He was a rich attorney. He was an attorney and he had money. His family had money. And that one night that he was driving drunk, he killed his entire family. And he sentenced himself, even though the justice system may have not, I'm not sure if he got any time, but he sentenced himself to hell. This man went into the woods, his name was Jerry, stripped himself of everything, lived like a bum for the rest of his life. I'm pretty sure mental illness came into play because he was DUI and he lost his entire family. And for years, for many, many years, he lived as a complete bum, dirty in the streets, begging, living in the woods. And so imagine that, and yeah, I mean, because, the decisions you make, when it comes to your family and your kids, and you do something, some people just can't handle it, and they, you know, I'm not sure how this mother's going to live her life in prison for 3 years. Hopefully, she will take this opportunity and maybe um, change some other, change somebody else's life, right? Maybe she'll take this opportunity and become an advocate for making better choices. Helping other mothers. I've seen some on 23 hours lockdown that lose their complete mind. It's so sad to see. Yeah, imagine 23 and one. 23 hours a day, um, and 1 hour out every day. and you by yourself, sometimes because of your crime, you're in isolation and you walk onto the yard by yourself every day. Well, your yard is like still within the, it still might be outside or maybe inside. You walk into this corded area, and a lot of times that's what we call a max prison, because Libra was medium max. So sometimes you're locked down for 23 and 1, and you're isolated, and your only contact is probably listening to other people talking, or the officers coming by to bring you what you need. That's it. You know, you stick your hand when you gotta move. You stick your hands out the door. They cuff you with your hands. Once you stick your hands out the door, that's your contact right there. Your yard is a square yard, literally. Most definitely, coffee no cream. She can help others from making those decisions. Anytime you put yourself in prison, you're the only one who can come out better. Most definitely, most definitely. So I'm hoping, with this time that she will serve, that she can help other people make better decisions. She can be a help. A lot of times, people can go to prison, they can change their lives around, and in some way just become a blessing to somebody else. Your tragedy will probably help other family members, other people, to say no. Make better choices. Don't buy these weapons off the street. Don't give weapons to your family members or that are felons, or people that are not safe with weapons, are not good. Don't buy illegal guns. Anything. You don't want to face the story that I have to face, and she's going to have to carry this. That's a prison that she's sentenced in her mind to, that what I did to my child. And in one day, I don't know, because I've dealt with people that sentenced themselves to over 30 years in oh my God, they've sentenced themselves. Sometimes these tragedies where parents or family members feel responsible for the death of their children, that is some hell that they go through. And you can tell that for some, because a lot of them don't care. A lot of them just are evil, demonic spirits that took their kids' life. Though not those people, uh, not these people that have a direct hand in unaliving their kids. I'm talking about these people that make tragic, bad decisions. Bad decisions, like getting in a car and driving drunk, or speeding, or leaving a handgun around. Uh, that led to a child's death. Something that you wouldn't say was intentional, but because of the decision you made, you know, uh, because of the decision you made, resulted. The death wasn't intentional. You didn't plan it. You just neglectful decisions, right? And you'll neglect your decisions to because of your DUI. You're not gonna make good decisions when you allow your kids to get in the car and you're attempting to drive. You may say, "Oh, I ain't got too far to go. Oh, I didn't drink that much. I got a buzz," and you will pick up your kids with a buzz, right? You don't think you're drunk, you're just buzzed. And that's why you see the big thing about not even buzz drinking, because buzz drinking can lead to tragedy as well. So when you make these decisions, like one person, they got into an argument with their husband. They grabbed the child, jumped in the car. They had been drinking a little bit, but they wasn't DUI. They just were, I believe, I mean, make it right. I don't think it was DUI. They grabbed the child, jumped in the car, and sped off. You know, sometimes how many people have known that to happen? Known friends or family members that grab their kids in anger and speed away. They're mad, they're angry, so now they're emotionally driving and they're speeding. They don't even have to be under the influence of anything. They're mad at the husband or the wife or the partner, and they grab the child. They like, I'm leaving. I'm taking my child, and they jump in the car. Don't put and just speed off. And unfortunately, that has happened. And I've seen parents sentence themselves to a life of just they lose it all. They lose their mind. They become extremely depressed. Extremely, if there was anything else going on before, it's a horrible thing to watch. Negative parents, neglective parents. We can support them in an accountable way by making them accountable. They call other ladies haters, but we have great advice. And and you're right. We talk about restorative justice. We talk about and helping people that make bad mistakes. Um, you know, as much as you can tear down somebody, how much more can you do to help them once you tore them down, right? If you're just tearing down and not rebuilding, that's the difference that some people are talking about, right? If you put as much energy as you put into tearing somebody down and recognizing somebody's fault, can we turn that energy around and possibly help them? As much as we can point out on something on somebody, is it possible one day we can get to the point of not only if we see fault in somebody, is that fault we're going to do we do anything at all, or if we choose to pay attention to it, try to help. I try not to be reckless when I'm driving because I'm a dog parent, says loving Lucinda. There you go. And I'm telling you, dog parents, like I say, dog parents don't talk about their dogs. That's their child. If anything else they got, if they just got a dog and no children, you might as well think that that is their child because they're going to. My friend has car seats. My friend has buggies. Y'all see my friend in North Carolina. If y'all followed me when I went to North Carolina to visit my best friend, she had this little white dog, a chica poo, a pico, some type of little poodles. She got the thing where booties when it go outside. It got clothes. It got a baby stroller. It got its own. It got a seat, not a seat on the plane. It travels on the plane with her. It got a car seat harness. We have a stroller too. Yep, she got a stroller. I'm not putting Kobe big ass in no stroller now. That is like putting the thing. Kobe big ass is not getting in no stroller. I that's like putting a 5 year old in a buggy. And that's like putting a 5 or 6 year old in a buggy, and I'm not pushing Kobe big behind in no stroller. I will get him a car seat, like a car seat, a doggy harness for the seatbelt. That's what I need to get for him, a doggy harness when I drive, so I can consider. Right now, I just sit him in the front seat, and my friend told me you don't want to do that because my God, if you have an accident, we're able to brace, and they can't. Okay, we're able to brace, and she made me think about that. You know, how we can brace up and in the car, and but a dog they're going to go wherever the car goes. So imagine if your car is going 45 miles an hour and you hit the brakes, guess whose body is still flying at 45 miles an hour? Guess who's flying through the car? So definitely got to get a doggy seatbelt harness for Kobe um, as well. So yeah, she has all that stuff. Dog, I mean everything for that little dog of hers. So Molly Lou flies on the plane too, and has a harness. Yeah, does he have a seatbelt harness as well? Like this for the seatbelts? That's what I need to get Kobe. Um, a seatbelt harness, because definitely he tries. I tried taking him a couple places when I went to the vet, and y'all, he tries to jump in the driver's seat with me everything because I have him his leash kind of tethered down, but he tries to jump in my lap. And imagine him at his size trying to jump in my lap and stuff like that. So when I'm driving, so I have to definitely get him a seatbelt harness. I'm gonna look at one today for him. So because when I was taking him back and forth to Petco, PetSmart and the vet, um, he was like trying to jump in the driver's seat with me. They want to be in your lap when you drive. Yeah, he tried to get in my lap while I'm driving. I'm like, come on, come on. So I had to tear them down. So Kobe had the seatbelt harness. Yep. So yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can get one of those today. Order one of those today. But yeah, it's crazy, y'all. But a lot of things going on in the world with our kids and uh, stuff like that. So we just got to be careful out here today. Um, I'm like that's him right now. I'm gonna go make him a treat for his ball. Um, I have a grand dog and a great grand dog. They have it all. There you go. Molly Lou knows you're talking about her. She's sitting here listening. Yeah, they know when you're talking about him. He can hear me talking right now, and he's up front, and I'm in the room, and that's why he's like, I hear my name. I hear my name. When he hears his name, man, they know. They know. But yep. I've got him good. I've got him really trained. Y'all, I'm gonna show y'all how he sits when I'm in the kitchen cooking or doing things. How he sits at the door looking at me at the threshold. He doesn't cross the threshold, but he sits right there or he lays right there looking at me like, he got the saddest eyes. Molly keeps up with his parent mama. Wait a minute, Molly Lou is a okay. Molly Lou keep up with her. Is it her? I thought Molly Lou was a girl. Okay, she is a girl. um, yeah, I gotta go make him a treat ball. I put some potatoes in his Kong so he can pass some time with that. I still use his other toys and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, guys, this world is crazy. Got to keep our kids safe, our dogs safe, but most definitely talking to our kids. And these things that we think won't happen, we still got to remind our kids out here today, the world we live in. As much as we can, we can advise. We can't make them when they're adults or young adults. There's too many things we can do but become advisory if they're willing to receive that anyway. But we just got to make sure. I do that in real life. My kids scream at me, sorry. I do that in real life. Lou, my kids scream at me, sorry. I understand. I understand that coffee no cream. I make that mistake too. I make that mistake too. Hey, all praises to the Most High. How are you? Thank you for that gold coin. Was that a gold coin? Thank you for that gold coin. Like the shot on your baby, Justice. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Check out the other ones too. You guys comment in the comment section. Let me know how you think and what you feel about the sound. Even if it's good, if it's not, if I need to do anything else with the visuals, let me know because I like doing it and I just want to make sure I'm going in the right direction with them. Yeah, I do. I make that mistake sometimes too. Coffee no cream. I'll check it out. Yeah, check it out, guys. I got one, two. I got Still Standing, Built for This, Keep Rising, and Kobe Blue. But the sound that I worked on the most was Built for This. I worked on that because you have to do a lot of work with the tones, picking out the elements of the sound to get it to sound right, and that took me about 2 days to work on. I love built for this as well. Still standing is so beautiful. That's the one that's a tribute to my family, to all my family that has passed on. Built for this is an anthem for my channel, um, and it refers to being built for the things that are going on in the world around you. You know, the things that you may experience in life as you grow, continue to grow. You got to be built for this stuff today in this world. So y'all check out "Built for This." That is my anthem, directly, for Justice Reacts, or let me say Rhonda, aka Justice Reacts. You all can listen to it, and you can just tell me what you think about it. You don't have to listen to. If you don't want to listen to the whole thing, listen to enough so you can see what I'm talking about. Very patriotic pics. Love it. Is that the one? The That's built for this. The eagle soaring um wasn't meant to be. I don't know. For me, the eagle soaring was just like a strong. Eagles are strong, and yet just a bird, but has the strength to carry so much. An eagle can pick up more than its weight. Um, and it flies and it glides longer than any bird. You know what I'm saying? And it can fly into the wind, and it's just something. It can fly into the storm, so it shows your strength, right? Because the eagle can fly into the storm, y'all. Illinois mascot, yeah, I see it. Yeah, yeah, that's what you're talking about. I love Illinois. I had this. Illinois is where, when I left Charleston, I did most of my growth. When I left Charleston, see, when I say that, living in Charleston, in an area that's rural, and it has a city life as well, but you exposed to that country life, right? You around everybody, your family, you're there. That's where you grow. But Chicago gave me a growth that could match, you know, being around the different types of people that don't think like you, the toughness, the resilience you have to be to survive Illinois. Okay, that's a different type of strength that you're building along the way. The different people, the personalities, just being by myself with my daughter out there, that's where the growth and the strength come from. So I look at that with the ego, is that, and where I'm at today as well. Yes, being born and raised. Coffee no cream. You were born and raised in Illinois. Eagle is our bird. Okay, yep. Patriotic, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, I just look at the eagle as sense of strength and just resilient and strong. It's just something about that eagle, um, when you see it in full glory, when its wings are spread. And, the eagle, the span of its wings is majestic. Its flight, and to watch it even when it's feeding, how fast it is. Um, I lived in Champaign, Illinois, my first year of teaching. Oh, okay, okay. Grateful to be from Illinois. Okay, grateful to be from Illinois. Yeah, it's like I said, and those years I spent in Illinois was significant to my growth. Uh, First, leaving Charleston, taking a chance, not knowing anybody but one person out there, and doing the damn thing out there, living on the south side for the first few years of my time there, and exposed to shit that I probably, excuse my language, the stuff that I never would have been exposed to, and just if I stayed in Charleston. And so I'm grateful and thankful. So that's why, and I love the city anyway. Love flying the Chicago air. If the Chicago skyline, to me, is one of the best skylines I've ever seen. I've heard, talked about the New York skyline, never flown into New York, but seen the skyline. But when I first flew into Illinois, and I flew in at night, and then I flew in a winter storm, man, it is so beautiful. U of I, yes. 30 years ago, I taught at the Southside Elementary. Okay, Lucinda. Okay. Small world. Champaign, Urbana. Okay. I'm from Champaign, Illinois. Okay. U of I. Okay, University of Illinois. Is that what you're saying? Wow. Yeah. I wish I could go back there, but I just can't do the winters there. If they take the winters out, I'd go back. But I just can't put myself back in the winters. Not at this age. Not at this age. So, but I do miss it. I do miss. If I had opportunity, I wish I had known about. And you know what? And the thing about it, I knew nothing about Illinois, only through the relationship I built with my ex. Other than that, Illinois was never on my radar. Chicago was never on my radar. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I was young. Winter. I was actually shocked. Yeah, I was young, naive, but I learned a lot. Most definitely, I wish I went younger. If I wish I had went at a time, and y'all know, I still like to go back and look at Chicago. There's this page on Facebook, and I just like to go back and look at Chicago in the set. It is such a vibe when you look at Chicago in the 70s, in the 80s. For some reason, I'm attracted to looking at Chicago. Is some type of vibe there. Just going back and looking at Chicago in the 70s and the 80s. And even the 60s. I love going back to the old, um, to looking at old Chicago. Looking at, the streets of Chicago. Baby, I was so cold. It took me 2 years to recover. Winter in Illinois is not for the weak. I learned to drive, walked. I never learned to walk. I can drive now. I can drive, but Lord, walking, mm-mm. I never developed the fleet foot for walking in Illinois snow. Mm-mm. That is a tragedy, and that is just a sad situation. I would watch my co-workers run in heels, run and whatever they got on, run in boots. We wore jump boots. Working at when I was working at the county, we wore jump boots. Them suckers can run across the ice, walk, and I'm like, well, damn. So that's something you have to be born into, I think, because I couldn't do it. All those years I spent, I learned how to drive, learn how to park, learn how to take over. One thing I learned how to be in Illinois is an aggressive driver. If one thing you're going to become in Illinois is an aggressive driver. If you learn how to drive, you are going to become an aggressive driver. Because you have, for me personally, I say it because you're gonna be stuck in many, many lanes if you don't know how to change lane, if you don't know how to move and get out the way, or you don't know how to take over another driver and be good with it. And you got to learn how to park. If you don't know how to parallel park, you might as well you stuck. uh, that's why I skate so good. Okay, yeah, you guys know how to skate too. Go to the skating ring over there in Rosemont. Man, I ain't never seen so many black people on skates, on ice skates. I'm like, well, damn, they have to walk on it. So, yeah. But you guys, yeah, you guys have to learn how to walk in that Chicago with the driving. I'm from the country part of Illinois. Well, that Chicago, learning how to drive, you will learn. Either you gonna park your car and jump on that L or jump on them trains, or you gonna have to learn how to drive in Chicago. There is no other way. You're gonna learn to drive, and you're gonna learn to park, and you're gonna learn to move people out the way with your car. The only thing I hated in downtown was competing with the bicycles, because you know they're gonna protect them bicyclists. Them bicycles like commodity in Illinois. Like you hit a bicyclist or a pedestrian, you might as well lay down somewhere because they're gonna get you. That's the one thing. Pedestrians and bicyclists, they get in the way. Okay, they get them out the way. Get them out the way. Because if you hit a bicyclist or a pedestrian, you might as well hang it up. You cook, especially a bicyclist. Especially a bicycle. But they get in the way. They be doing stupid stuff. I mean, they cause most of the issues. And the speed bumps. I call people that pedestrian like myself that cross the street speed bumps all kind of crazy way. But if you don't, them bicyclists, man, be coming up out of nowhere. They got a bicycle lane, but they will cut in front, cut across. They'll do that, and the motorcyclists on the doggone free interstate. But learning how to drive in Chicago is like learning how to drive. You can drive anywhere in the world after driving in Chicago. Like I told y'all, the first time I went to Chicago and I drove downtown, I turned back and went home and cried. Like, I need to go to work. My job is downtown. What the hell am I going to do? I don't know, but these buses, man, these buses, I ain't never seen buses move like that and cabs and stuff. My little country bunking behind didn't know what to do with all them cabs and buses, all them people at one time. Ain't never seen such a thing. Terrified, petrified, just all those people at one time, all those cars and the taxi cab drivers. If that was taxi, we didn't have Uber yet. We had like a lot of taxis and cabs, and them big buses don't care. They just pull out. I'm sorry if you're not going to go up against the buses in Illinois, right? Because they're just going to come out on you, and you just going to have to move. Same thing with the cab drivers and the people. They walk right in front of you and look at you like, and if you do, those people will walk off that street on front of you when it's their turn to cross. Jeez. Them pedestrians in Chicago, oh no. They're going to give you that I dare you look. I dare you. Yeah, man. But Chicago is a vibe by itself, man. Miss it dearly. Can't live there, but we'll go back and visit. But love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Um, I was looking at Amber Nicole's. Now, what I do miss, one of my spots, and you guys, if you followed me, you knew I was a big fan of Maggioli's, the Italian restaurant. And I saw Amber Nicole there on her short. And I'm like, I wish there was a Maggioli's over here. I loved Maggioli's. Maggioli's probably one of the things, y'all, if I didn't eat lunch at Maggioli's while I was at work, if I didn't have them deliver lunch for me at least once a week or so, I would have lunch because they had a lunch menu that was so awesome, and their serving sizes were crazy. But I miss Maggioli's, man. I miss the good food. um, but yeah, the only one that got closest to me is in Atlanta. So I would have to go to Atlanta to get Maggioli's. Maggioli's. I say Maggi. I might be saying it wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with the Italian restaurant. Maggioli's or Maggioli's. I am Garcia Pizza. I miss Garcia Pizza. Oh, I don't remember Garcia. I know Leonardi's, and the other one, Gennaro's. I never like Home Run. And a lot of people, I like Home Run. That's some nasty pizza. Nasty pizza. Coffee says yes, yes. Home Run pizza, a lot of people like it. I don't like Home Run pizza. I do not like Home Run pizza. But the best thing about Chicago is when you find those good old. It was a Champagne thing. Okay, okay. Did I ever go to Champagne, Illinois? I don't think I ever went there. No. Mm-mm. Um, where did I go? What part of Illinois I said I will never go back to? It's like going into what Iowa. What was that part of Illinois I said I would never go back to? I didn't like it. It was a long drive and nothing was out there. Um, I think it was like going to what Iowa. Can't think of it. Oh, 2 hours away. Wow. Um, yeah. I can't think of the place right now, but I said I would never go back there again. Ah, man, I can't think of the place. But yeah, Illinois is a vibe by itself, man. It's just a vibe. And when you can find those mom and pop shops that have the real small, cultural shop, like even for like any type of food, Italian, Chinese, uh, German, Spanish, Mexican, any of these little mom and pop stores, you will always could find some good food. East Louis had a big tragedy. Did you cover it? No, what happened? Coffee no cream. I'm not. A lot of times I don't catch it unless you guys tell me something about it. I go check what's going on. I know. Ace in the safe zone was talking about a story that has a tragedy within her family. She was talking about it, and being that it's in the safe zone, I wanted to cover it, but I want to do it with much respect to being that knowing the content creator, knowing her as a content creator here, and knowing that it's a definitely something that will impact her. I wanted to do it with delicacy, because it is definitely, if that's the story, it's definitely a story, you know, um, a tragic story, um, for a mother. And I just could imagine, and I'm hoping 7 hours, 7 hit 5 out of live last week. I'm definitely going 7 hit 5 out of last hit by a car or somebody shot at them. East South Louis, Illinois. Oh no, no. I know there was some stuff happening over the Fourth of July weekend. They had over 40 something shootings, but 7 hit 5 out of live. I gotta look that up. I hadn't heard anything about it. Mm, I'll check it out. The grand. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're right. I did. The granddaughter and her boyfriend. The two teens, right? The two teens that unalived their family. Is that the one? Is that the one? The granddaughter and her boyfriend? Most definitely. Most definitely. I did see that story. I think it was the granddaughter and the boyfriend. Yeah. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. So yeah, I must cover both stories because I think the one involving the mother coming home, you know, and just off the rip, y'all, I don't know, it's a tragedy, both lost, but I could imagine a mom coming home and finding a grown man under her 13-year-old bed. You don't know where her mind was. I'm like I said, I don't know. I pray for the family because definitely in the safe zone is going. got some things going on, and my prayers to Aiden Safe Zone and her family as well. Because she's still dealing with the court system and everything else with her other family member, and now this tragedy, and that's a lot to go through. That's a lot. So y'all make sure if you're familiar with In the Safe Zone, she's a content creator here in this sector as well. Send some prayers up if you know her situation, and it's sad because I can imagine coming home at night and knowing some. I don't know if somebody called her or how she knows somebody was in her house, but allegedly she knocked and asked who's in my house, and then she followed her daughter to the room, and the man was under the bed. He walked out, and allegedly, I say allegedly because they said then she unalived him by shooting him in the back of the head. Um, I don't know, if some type of if they can be some type of break in mental health at that time, where you come home and you find a man under, and even I don't know. I can imagine a mother. I feel so sorry for the situation, but I can't imagine a mother coming home and make that decision. And who knows what the conversation was. It's so much up to the story. That's why, like I said, I don't know a lot. Um, I don't know a lot. Um, but if I talk about it, I want to definitely talk about it with as much delicacy and respect as possible, because it is definitely a story. It's a tragedy that happened, and was that story her family? Not the one in Illinois. The one with the mother finding the young man under the bed. That's the story. Um, a lot, a tragedy in itself. You know, you're at work, and your child is at home, and you thinking, you go to work and you want to make sure your baby is safe in a safe and place, and you can go to work and know that everything is okay. But yeah, the one in St. Louis, Illinois, with the two kids unaliving their parents and their family members, that's a tragedy. I'm gonna go back and look at that story as well, because these kids today, that's not the first story I've heard like that, where the girlfriend and the boy, but these are two teens. But I've seen where they have gotten together with older men and unalived the family member as well. These girls have gotten together with these older men and unalived their family. I think this has happened a few years ago, maybe a couple of years ago, with a girl and her boy, and her and her friend. She was a young teen, and he was a grown man, probably as old in his 30s or maybe, and unalived the family, or assisted in her unaliving the family. So it's a tragedy, y'all, out here. So much going on. But Coffee No Cream, I will definitely follow up with the St. Louis, Illinois story, because I did glance at that, and I'll come back and talk about that as well. And get some more information. Uh, Talked about the Remika story. Her person that unalived her has been released on pre-trial release, meaning that she is home while she waits for her trial. Um, and again, um, they don't. I'm sorry, love saying prayers in the safe zone, sending prayers. So yeah, yeah, most definitely. Y'all check out In the Safe Zone. She hadn't been on in a while. Just came back. Got a lot of good content creators out here, guys. In the Safe Zone. Uh, Again, Loving Lucinda. Um, teacher, fashionista. She's doing it all. She has her talk on Sunday Talk on Sundays as well. I saw Tracy, loving me, Tracy Anderson, came by on her page. Hadn't seen Tracy. I hope all is well with Tracy. But I saw Tracy's came down my timeline the other day. So shout out to loving Tracy Anderson as well. Miss Dimple J is Gamma's World, Saretness, Loving Lucinda, Fee. Who else is out here? There's a lot more people out here. If I don't call your name, you know, just kind of what's coming to mind right now. Ariel Nicole, Beautifully Healed. A lot of good content creators out here. Some I hadn't seen in a minute. Hope all is well with you, Fee. Hadn't seen you in a moment. I know last time I saw you, I think you were. What's Fee doing? Oh, at the dentist. Okay, okay. So yeah, so guys, I'm peeping around the channels here, but I got a lot going on, with preparation going on as well, and also working on this music part of this thing. So definitely having fun making the music. Hoping you guys will check it out. I'm coming ask. I'm supposed to have 8,000 followers, and I believe truly in the bag. I probably got about close to 1,000 of you guys that probably actually really following me, and some of you hanging up in the rafters. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. Appreciate y'all. Go check out my music. Let me know what you think. Don't hold back. Okay, just let me know what you think. Even though it's AI generated, this is the wave of the future. This is where the real sound, this is what they're going to be facing in the future. You're going to be facing AI generated sound, and it's not that easy because you got to put the right things together to make it sound right. You got to go down there and pick everything, even though it's just picking certain tunes and voice and whatever. You have to get that right combination, and and that's why what some other time it take just a few minutes or a few days to get the right combination so you can hear it, and then hopefully somebody else will hear what you're hearing. So most definitely, guys, check it out, support the channel. I appreciate you guys that are hanging in with me, my hanging in with my new content. Thank you guys for staying. Thank you guys for renewing your memberships. I got all greens up in here. I appreciate y'all support on the membership as well. Thank you, Carla. Coffee No Cream. Thank you, Chris. And Nell Furman. Thank you guys for coming in. And it's Gamma's World's back in house. Y'all check out his Gamma's World. Uh, Lovely Sunday, Lane Davis. Thank you all for coming in and showing your support this morning. Much appreciated. Coffee No Cream, I will see you. Iconic was in the house, y'all know. Thank you, Iconic, for coming in as well. Uh, Thank you all. And I'm going to get up out of here and go check on my doggy and see what's up with Cole. Hey, and all praises to the whole Most High. Y'all know apartment. A part of me in apartment. She got like 3 different names. If I can't get it right, y'all know who I'm talking about. A part of me and apartment. All praises to the Most High. So I still get it right sometimes. So I appreciate you all, and y'all have a thank you. Appreciate you too, Justice. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Be blessed. Be awesome. Be the change y'all want to see in the world. And I'm up out of here because I'm gone. See y'all soon.